Hello, everybody. Stocks had a great follow through to Monday session. Tuesday, we saw stocks rally 0.66% on the NASDAQ, with volume actually increasing ahead of the session before. NYSE volume was lower than the session before, but we did add to the gains in the S&P 500 and New York Stock Exchange. So there's nothing for me to complain about. And also, more importantly, I look at stochastics as my most important oscillator that I follow. It is hooked up convincingly now on the S&P 500. Dow Jones Industrial Average, Dow Jones Transportation Average off the lows. The NASDAQ, as you can see, nice little hook, and the Russell 2000 even better from very oversold condition. So all of our indexes have oscillators starting to hook higher and or are already moving higher, as TSV RSI is. MAC clearly looks like it's trying to round out, so that's another positive on this overall oscillators and all the major market averages. But the bottom line is, I don't care about volume. And right now, everybody just needs to realize that we're not at new highs yet in the market, and our accounts are hitting new highs. At least mine is. I know two other traders in our chat room, their accounts are also hitting new highs. So we got 3 guys at Big Wave Trading, 2 guys, 1 girl at Big Wave Trading hitting new account highs. Chat room's been quiet recently, but that's because it's summertime, people on vacation. But if that's an indication of things, we are on the right side. And I tell you what, I've been tracking Twitter and Facebook for a long time. I don't know anybody that maintained their long positions like we did at Big Wave Trading. I really don't. I'm talking about the best of the best, too. So many people cashed out and were convinced that the market was going to sell off and/or it was just going to be choppy. And while it is choppy, our long positions show no sign of that at all. Do you want to know what my 2 worst positions were today? I think they were both biotech stocks. CTRV. Does that look really bad to you at all? That looks like it's just consolidating, right? That was my second worst stock today overall due to percentage gain and price loss to the overall pattern. And an RDHL. RDHL failed its 20-day moving average, but it was lighter volume, so it's not necessarily a 50% immediately end of day basis. But if it moves below 1756, I will be out of half of it because I only had 1 sell stop, and I believe it was below 16, this low back here, 17, excuse me. So that was my final sell stop, but now I'm splitting it between 17 and 1756. That's it. Besides that, everything else looks great, including RCPT, which after hours is being purchased by Celgene. I believe it's supposed to be like for 235, but it's only trading at 228. But once again, biotechs continue to outperform. And recent small one that we've been watching 2 days ago mentioned it's now up 16%. You know, it's moving. And then Guide was the stock that I decided not to get long back here because of the overall market. And you can see how it's popping. So everything's working, including stocks that I've been kicked out of, like XON. Should have only had half below the opening and then half here, but I moved it all up to here following this session. I think right here made me nervous because of the huge volume, so I moved my final sell stop to 45.56. It broke it here on this day, and now it has actually found support and rallied back. So even stocks that I sell off, they come back. And there's another stock I want to buy back, HCKT, as it consolidates with Maxstream Bob. So there's just good charts everywhere, and it's stupid and pointless to fight this. To this evening, only 1 sell signal on an end-of-day basis, and that's our hedge in BIS. We were knocked out of half of it yesterday when it closed below, or when it moved below 27.64, and when it moved below 26.53 today, intraday, I was knocked out of the rest of the position. But on an end-of-day basis, it is a full sell. Only 1 new long position flagged. I didn't even flag a whole lot. And why isn't this working when I press OK? So I flagged ISLE out of my CanSlim scan. Nice breakout on heavier volume, but it's not like it's breaking out to new highs, and it's not a pocket pivot point signal, so I'm not in love with it. So that was a good move today. And then natural gas NG in the futures market looks like it's put in a tradable bottom. So GASL is one. The stochastics are starting to turn up, and RSI is oversold, and nothing's really meaningful, anywhere else. But it just has like a potential bottom. And even if you want to use the GASL with leverage, it's kind of volatile. But I tell you what, your risk is clearly defined with a move below 13.45. But GASL was the only other interesting one besides another small biotech stock that you should be watching intraday for further breakouts and momentum, AST. Besides that, the only new long position was GWHP. GWHP is a personal favorite of mine because it's basically a marijuana stock play. as they work with cannabis oils. So GWPH, you can see very beautiful long-term chart going back to April. It's really tightened up. It is an ascending base pattern going back to the following the April breakout. It's been creating an ascending base pattern. Pocket pivot point signal today, not confirmed in any other scan, but it's a perfect speculator scan quality stock in the drug sector, with an ascending base pattern nearing new highs, with the market near new highs, and just a beautiful overall longer-term chart pattern going back to April 2014. So GWPH is a 2.5% long signal, definitely taking that as a new long. Also going to add to FIX. FIX is bouncing right off of its 50-day moving average as it breaks out of an ascending base pattern that was also started back in April. Beautiful, beautiful pattern with that pocket pivot point signal. Wish it had green bot, but whatever. Splitting hairs, high quality stock. So I'm going to add to that to my existing position. Only 1% add signal. Once again, I'm running on fumes in the cash account and with borrowed money on the margin account because we are fully invested and everything works. And then also IDI gave a okay long signal. Should have closed a little bit higher. Got all the way up to 12. So preferably, I guess, a close at around 1174, 1175 would have been much better. But a close at 1161 with that huge volume surge and max screen bop in the base gives myself a better risk trade overall. Potential reward is going to be the same if it closes 1161 or 1175 or even 12. I'm going long the stock no matter what, as long as it doesn't close below 1150, because in between 12 and 1050, where would I need it to be? Yeah, 1150. That would have been my cutoff. If it closed below 1150, obviously I wouldn't even have taken a second look, and it'd just be a hold and a nice uptrend. But IDI, beautiful technical pattern, as you can see here, with the max screen bop and the volume surges and the breakout to new highs on the another pocket pivot point buy signal. So I'm going to add to it 0.5% account capital add. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price technical setup. And CRIS, another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price technical setup. Neither one are perfect, IDR, CRIS. CRIS is basically a buyback. I was shaking out a half of my position on this day here as it moved below 309 to hit 308. Obviously, it was the low of the day. Why not? And that shook me out. But it's fought back beautifully, and even though it isn't closing above 342, I have a feeling it's right around the corner. That thing looks coiled. So CRIS, adding back that position, 0.5% of the account capital is basically what it comes down to overall. So CRIS, 0.5, IDI 0.5, GWPH 2.5, and FIX 1%, and BIS is a 100% sell. Overall, this market looks really strong, looks good. Oscillators are coming off oversold levels and are in our favor, and every single one of our long positions look fantastic.